Hey guys, I'm here today to talk to you about an alien autopsy. Now I know this is not a topic that everyone believes in or wants to hear about, but it's something that I find fascinating and many others do as well. This event I'm going to be talking about specifically is called the Varginha UFO incident. It was one of the most publicized UFO cases in the world, and it had many witnesses, both people on the ground and even some military personnel involved. So let's get into it. This story takes place in the year 1996 in the Brazilian countryside in the state of São Paulo. At the time there was a military base nearby where many of the Air Force personnel lived with their families. On January 1996, a young boy who was playing near his home saw a large object fall from the sky. When he went to investigate what he had seen, he found a strange egg-shaped object made out of metal and measuring approximately 2 meters long. Not knowing what to do, he ran back home and told his parents what he had found. His father then took him back to the object, and they decided to move it into the backyard of their house. That night they heard strange noises coming from inside the object, and the next morning they were shocked to see that the egg-shaped object had vanished. The following day, however, things were about to get serious. On January, there were many reported sightings of strange flying objects in the sky by various people around the city. A local farmer named Antonio Vilas Boas was driving down the road when he saw a strange-looking craft hovering above the road. As he approached it, he said that it began to move, and he described it as being very noisy like a motorcycle. He also noted that it appeared to have no wings or any other identifying characteristics. As he drove closer, he noticed that there was a small ramp on the side of the craft, and he could see what looked like a body lying inside. This is important later on because he will end up being one of the key witnesses in this case. That same day, several Air Force personnel from the nearby base were out flying when they also witnessed these flying objects. According to the official report from the Air Force, 4 pilots and 3 planes were involved in the incident. They claimed that while flying they saw 2 anomalous aerial vehicles moving erratically through the air. These flying things seemed to hover in the air, change directions quickly and move at incredible speeds. Even more strange, the radar system on the planes couldn't pick up these objects. Also on that day, nurses at the local hospital reported seeing a strange green glowing object hovering outside the hospital. At the same time, doctors and nurses were treating a man who had apparently fallen from the sky. He was seriously injured with severe trauma to his legs. While all of this was happening, there were thousands of people flooding the streets of Varginha, all claiming to see these strange objects in the sky. People were running around in panic, not really knowing what to do. At this point, the military decided to get involved. Several trucks full of soldiers arrived on the scene and began rounding up all of the people who had witnessed these events. They brought them to a local school and began questioning them to try to get to the bottom of this situation. Many of the people who were interviewed claimed to see the same things. Strange beings and strange objects. One witness in particular stood out. It was the same farmer who we mentioned earlier, Antonio Vilas Boas. He described what he had seen in such detail that the military decided to take him out into the countryside in an attempt to try and find the object that he had seen. After searching for a while, they finally came across a spot where they believed it may have landed. They brought in a helicopter and several soldiers to search the area. What they found would shock the world. They discovered a strange creature that appeared to be covered in scales. It was only about 1.5 meters tall and weighed approximately 80 pounds. It had large eyes that were almond-shaped and were red in color. Its skin was grayish and slimy, and its fingers were very long and thin. The creature also had a long tail that was prehensile, meaning that it could grab onto things with it. This is very similar to the description of an Anunnaki alien that was recovered in Peru in the 1920s, and is now held in a secret vault in the Vatican museums. When the military arrived on the scene, the creature was still breathing, and it tried to speak to them. Unfortunately, it was unable to form coherent sentences, and instead just made strange noises. It was then loaded onto a truck and taken back to the military base, where further examinations could be carried out. It's important to note that during this entire time, nobody knew where this creature came from or how it got to Earth. The military was just focused on studying it and trying to understand what it was. At the base, they first gave the creature water and food, but it refused to eat or drink anything. Instead, it kept pacing back and forth in its cage, making strange sounds. They then took X-rays of the creature to see if they could get a better understanding of its anatomy. What they found was shocking. The creature had no bones, which was unlike anything they had ever seen before. It also didn't seem to have any internal organs either. The military was baffled and had no idea what to do. They contacted the government for help, but unfortunately, they were unable to come up with any answers either. After a few days, the creature suddenly became violent and began thrashing around in its cage. The military decided that the best course of action would be to tranquilize it so that it would unhurt itself. Once it was asleep, they performed an autopsy on the creature to try to figure out what it was. The autopsy showed that the creature was male and approximately 25 years old. It also revealed that it had never been married and had no children. The creature had no reproductive organs and its brain was much larger than that of a human. The team of scientists performing the autopsy were unable to identify any of the creature's body parts, which made it even more difficult to determine what species it belonged to. Finally, after several days of examining the creature, the military decided to bury it in a shallow grave. They also destroyed the video and photographic evidence of the creature so that nobody would ever find out about it. In the years since the incident, many people have come forward claiming that they saw the creature or the strange objects in the sky. Some people even claim that they have photos and video footage of the events, although none of this footage has ever been verified. The Brazilian government has done their best to cover up this incident, but there are still many unanswered questions. Where did the creature come from? Why was it on Earth? And why did the military decide to cover it up? Unfortunately, we may never know the answers to these questions. But one thing is for sure, this was one of the most amazing and mysterious incidents in history. So there you have it, the story of the alien autopsy in Brazil. Do you believe that aliens exist? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, so you never miss an episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out our channel, where we bring you the latest news and discoveries from the world of science and technology. We have a team of dedicated journalists who are always digging for the most exciting stories that are sure to expand your knowledge and keep you up to date on everything from space exploration to artificial intelligence. At our channel, we believe in the power of knowledge, and we recommit it to making science and technology accessible to everyone. We want to empower our viewers to understand the world around them and to make informed decisions about the technology that shapes our lives. That's why we work tirelessly to bring you high-quality, accurate and up-to-date content that you can trust. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone who's curious about the world around them, we have something for everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the community of science lovers and tech enthusiasts today and start exploring the universe of knowledge that awaits you. Click the link in the description below to visit our channel and start learning today. You won't regret it.